How you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Very well. Yeah. Good, move the camera right here. We can block that. There you go. Let's get started. First of all, I want to welcome everyone back to school. I know you had a good summer, at least I hope you did. We're glad all of you are back. And I also want to welcome you to our first seminar of the year, this fall semester. And this is a seminar on seminars. Before we get into that, there are a few things I want to mention. As you know this by now, surely, we've made lots of improvements around here over the summer. A lot of improvements. And we're not done yet. It'll be a while before the new cubicles are fully ready to go. And I don't know when that'll be. Several of you have asked me. We're waiting on the physical plant people to come and supply the power. In the meantime, we may go ahead and assign these computers that we have. I've mentioned to some of you that we probably don't have enough computers to go around to everybody, but we'll give computers out to as many people as we can, and the first priority will be people on research contracts. Okay, so we have several computers. Now, before we get into the subject of the seminars, there's some awards that I would like to make, some students that I'd like to recognize. On Monday afternoon, I received a packet from the American Nuclear Society with scholarship checks, and several of our students have received scholarships or fellowships, stipends, big hunks of money from the American Nuclear Society. And I want to recognize those students and have them come forward. They get a certificate and a check. And the first one is Alan Wallaber. Alan, come up here. And you can give these students a hand. And then, let me do this one last. Jennifer Hoff. Jennifer and Hoff. This is the John DeMarsh Memorial Scholarship Award. You know who DeMarsh is? Two of them.
That's like the memorial.
All right, this one is the Everett P. Blizzard Scholarship Award. And this is an A&S Graduate Scholarship Award. It goes to Dan Stevens. Congratulations. Thank you. And another A&S Graduate Scholarship Award to Thomas Miller. And another Graduate Scholarship Award to Brandon Rasmussen. Congratulations. Thank you. See, this thing comes down on. And then another Graduate Scholarship Award to Old Con.
Get a haircut now.
Yeah, right. And then undergraduate scholarship award to T.J. Harrison. And finally, I don't think she's here, at least I don't see her, and that's the Robert G. Lacey Memorial Scholarship Award to Cindy Jones. She has a class right now. I encouraged her to get out of class. Knowing Cindy, she's not going to skip class. Okay. This seminar is also a dry run for our webcast. So we haven't done it now in 3 months, and things usually don't work. Murphy's Law gets us, and so this is a dry one for our real first seminar, which is next week, and Dr. Weinberg will be here. I hope you've seen the advertisement on our webpage. This year is the 100th anniversary of the birth of Enrico Fermi, and Dr. Weinberg worked with Enrico Fermi in the Manhattan Project, and so he elected to talk about Enrico Fermi and the world's first chain reactor, fission chain reactor. So that's the subject next week. So we're doing a dry run, and bear with us here. Now let's get into the seminars. I didn't do a PowerPoint. I just on Word. So I thought what we'd do first is that I'd show you what is already lined up. And let's see if I can scroll down. Actually, it'd be better to do an overhead. Right? Okay. First seminar is today, and we're going to talk about the seminar program. The next one is next week, Dr. Weinberg. And then on September the 12th, it's open right now. I had originally scheduled another seminar that I moved some other time, and so September the 12th is open. Then on September the 19th, we have an outside speaker. Dr. Hines, tell us briefly about the speaker.
Chris, likewise, he runs a kind of a health physics firm out near Oak Ridge. It's really grown a lot over the past years. One thing his company does is they're doing the decommissioning at the University of Virginia research reactors. They go out and do a lot of surveying and cleanup activities.
Thank you. Then on September the 26th, we have there's a new university librarian devoted entirely to engineering. She's the engineering librarian. Her name is Dr. Janine Williamson, and she has offered to come over here and tell us all the new software tools that are available in the library. This is particularly important for students doing research, particularly PhD research, because you have to do original research. And so the library can be your real friend, or it can be your real foe if you miss something and you get scooped on your PhD dissertation. You don't want that to happen. And so this particular topic may not be an exciting, interesting topic, but nevertheless it's really important, and so I invited her to come. And then on October the 3rd, we have Stephen Arndt, who is a supervisor with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. He's going to be here to give us an overview of current and future research that's going on at the NRC. On October the 10th, we do not have a seminar scheduled because the Thursday afters and Friday afters is fall break. It's usually not a good time to schedule a seminar if you want to have an audience. And then on October the 17th, it's open. We can have a seminar, but I won't be here, which is fine. Okay, you can have my encouragement and permission to have a seminar without me. I'll be giving seminars, 3 seminars for freshmen on that day. And then 2 days later, we're going to have our cookout for the freshmen. So on October 19th, 17th is the seminar to the freshmen. And then on the 19th, which is a Friday, we're going to be cooking hot dogs and hamburgers for 450 freshmen. And I encourage all of you to come and rub shoulders with the freshmen and introduce yourself. We did this last spring and the spring before, and it's really too late to do it in the spring. Now we're going to do it in the fall. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. And then on October the 24th, it's open. October the 31st, there's a DOE person by the name of Martin McBride. I think he's actually with the Oak Ridge Operations Office. He gave a paper at a recent ANS meeting where he talked about really a new safety culture, a different way of thinking about what's important from the standpoint of nuclear technology. And he offered to come and give a seminar, and after listening to him for about 10 minutes, I decided, okay, I'll invite him to give a seminar. He's an interesting guy, I hope. I think his topic is going to be building public confidence in the use of nuclear technology, but it could be this new safety culture that he likes to talk about. Something new and different, hopefully. And then on November the 7th, Professor Lee Magid, who is a professor of chemistry here at UT, and she's also the director of the Joint Institute for Neutron Science, interim director. And she's coming. She's also an expert on neutron scattering. Of course, most of you know we have the largest R&D, or the largest construction project associated with R&D in the United States, over here about 30 miles away, the Collection Neutron Source. And it's there to provide neutrons for primarily neutron scattering, and she's going to talk a little bit about that. So November the 14th is an open date. Most of our faculty, or many of our faculty, will be at the ANS meeting, and several of our students are actually here. That's what we have for you. And we can do the same for Cindy that we did every time. Okay, the Reno meeting on November the 14th, probably not a good time to have a seminar. November the 21st, Wednesday before Thanksgiving, is probably not a good time to have a seminar. And then November the 28th is open. And then finally, on December the 5th, a friend of mine who is a three-time graduate of this department, Dr. Mel Buckner, who's sometimes a big wheel at Savannah River. He's going to come and talk about nuclear non-proliferation. It's misspelled. I thought somebody corrected that. Kristen, anyway, I apologize for the misspelling. And then I have nothing scheduled for the spring of 2002, and which is one of the reasons we're having this particular seminar. And so I wanted to get your ideas on possible seminar projects, okay? And I've already spoken with many of these people about giving a seminar, and they have reluctantly agreed to do so. But Jenny, for example, went on this wonderful trip and spent time with how many Nobel laureates were there? Okay. And I'd like to hear about that. I'm sure you would too. Thomas, I've heard of long honeymoons, but I don't know that anybody that had a 3-month honeymoon. It must have really been good. So Thomas, we'd like to hear about that. Maybe see some pretty pictures of your book. And then Alan spent time with Westinghouse Energy Systems this summer working for Mario Corelli on Generation 4 reactors. And he actually says that he's got enough information for about a 20-minute seminar. So we might combine Alan's seminar with another student seminar of about 20 minutes. Wesley, I've heard that we have this really talented musician in our group. There he is. And so we don't have to chase neutrons at every seminar, okay? We can do things that we enjoy doing that are different, that, and if you want to do these things. Now, me personally, I'd like to hear all of these things. And then I started to list the faculty members who took interesting international trips in the past 12 months. And it's everybody on the faculty just about. And some of them went 2 and 3 different places. Dr. Townsend just got back from a week vacation trip to Alaska and the Denali National Park. And I bet he has some beautiful pictures, maybe some funny stories about grizzly bears. I don't know. That we could do if you're interested in that type of thing. And then other people have suggested that we get our students who have done a good job with their research projects and have finished and have something really worthwhile to say to give a seminar. Now, we've done this in the past. When I see something that really attracts me and I think is a good seminar, a good speaker, I'll invite that student to give a departmental seminar. I don't guess we've done that in a year or so. Dr. Miller's had 2 or 3 students do that, as I recall. And then several years ago, many of you probably don't even realize this, but we had the president of the Tennessee Sierra Club come and give a seminar. It turns out he's not an anti-nuclear person. Of course, he's no longer the president, but I think he's still in the area. He's a staff member at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. His name's Roger Jenkins. He used to be a neighbor of mine. And he's a very reasonable person. He's an interesting guy to listen to get a different perspective, to get maybe the green point of view attitude toward nuclear power. Of course, he and I get in these interesting discussions because I used to try to convince him that nuclear power is green power. Okay, he's not that bad. Nevertheless, these are my ideas. Now, I have my little book here and my pen, and I want your ideas and thoughts. Okay, seminars.
What about speakers from other departments?
Do that.
Or even other colleges?
Sure, we can. In fact, Lee Maggot is a speaker from another department. But if you got somebody in mind, let me know. Yeah, we do that. Dan?
I just think too, Dr. Water, Evans Water, the aeronautical department, and Dr. Taylor, in geology.
And Dr. who? Taylor? Larry Taylor or Howard Sweet, Joe. Yeah. McSween just won some kind of big award, right?
About Jackson Garrett.
Yeah, that's a good idea. In case you don't know about Jack Duncara, you know who he is? He is the only faculty member in the college, in the university, who's a member of the National Academy of Engineering. Is that right? He just got elected 6 or 8 months ago. And he's a computer scientist. He's a distinguished scientist. He came to us from Argonne. Some of you who do big-time calculations, you know what PVM is, parallel virtual machine. Well, that's his baby. He created that and permits you to take a code and run it in parallel on several machines without really rewriting the code. Plus, he does lots of other things, like he develops the little metric tools that determine the speed of new computers as they come out. But he would be an interesting. He served on graduate committees of any graduate students in this department.
What about a politician like Tim Burchett?
Yeah, I'd love to have a politician here. We can all bring tomatoes and.
We probably get arrested.
Tim Burchett.
Yeah.
What would he talk about?
He could talk about funding problems. He could talk about
State of Tennessee.
He could talk about
Okay.
Talk about the university.
Yeah.
Funding
Good idea.
The state funding problems. What their plan is.
Yeah.
That takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What does he do after the first 30 seconds, right? Abraham?
What was that genetic research and cell research? How often they use and what possibly the future?
DNA, genetic what is it called, genome research? Is that what you have in mind?
Yeah.
Who would you have a name?
It's got a number in the biochemistry department. I can get you more details.
Okay, genome.
For stem cells.
Yeah.
One thought that occurred to me was if we have some money, how would it be to have a speaker from elsewhere, United States? If we have a lot of money, we should probably know from elsewhere, outside of the United States. Talk about different perspectives.
Well, we've had people from outside the United States come, but we usually take advantage of the free.
Right.
We can do that. Yeah. What we need is a topic name, and then the way I do that is that if we've got a connection, we contact the person and say, hey, we'd love to have you give a seminar. Are you going to be in the U.S. anytime in the next 8 months? And take advantage of when you come, when he or she comes. South Carolina? It's Paul Frame over here. Yeah, Ralph. Paul Frame.
He's got a lot of people ways to bring in. He always has some interesting stories.
Okay. Okay, good idea. I know
How
Paul.
about someone on the committee to not replace, get a new president?
Yeah, I like. Yeah. A search committee to replace Gilly, right?
But we had a politician.
Yeah, that's the reason we're having these things, this get together here. Yeah, I've always said, and I've told the faculty, maybe I hadn't told the students enough, that if you have any ideas for seminar, just let me know. Well, we all then go off and do our little thing, chase our neutrons or whatever. But once we get you all together for 30 or 45 minutes and get you to start thinking, we get these really good ideas. That tells us that the more we can get together, the better we are, which is really the reason we spent all this money down here for these graduate student carols. We'd like to have you here to create intellectual center of gravity so that we can feed off of each other, we can learn from each other, and the faculty can learn from the students, and the students can learn from the faculty a lot more than just being in the classroom. If you rub shoulders with people every day, you're bound to benefit. And so we hope to create that type of atmosphere with these new carols. And the faculty have benefited too. Several of the faculty have new furniture. To go, the one I want you to really look at is Dr. Miller's office. It's really different. And I'm excited about it, and I know he is. I actually had an adjunct faculty member call me about his class, and he complimented us on Dr. Miller's new office. He was really impressed.
It's not slow.
Okay. Any other ideas?
Susan Metros and
Yeah.
Michael Guidry, they run this colloquium.
Right. So we can do that, and we can participate in that if we want to. Did everybody get that notice? Tell us about that.
This is about, it says educational technology, the transformation of the academy, the effect of technology on academics.
Like Guidry does purely online books. They've actually started a center for these advanced teaching technologies. He could come in and talk about that center and show you some demonstrations of how they use interactive media, interactive technologies to do these online books.
Right. Mike, yeah, you can do that, but Mike Guidry and I go way back. His son and my older son played soccer together when they were little guys. But no, let me mention something else that's really kind of good for our department. Distance education is becoming a big thing here. Some think it's bigger than it should be, but nevertheless, it's becoming a big thing. And the dean was going to hire a person to direct the distance education development of the College of Engineering. And instead, he is buying some of the time of Dr. Hines, and Dr. Hines is the director now of distance education for the College of Engineering, which I think is an honor. I think we ought to give him a hand. What other ideas do we have? I didn't intend for this seminar to last very long. We do have refreshments downstairs. This attendance is wonderful. This may be, and this seminar, it may be the most, almost nothing seminar that we have all year long. And so, if all the other seminars that are better than this one, and I'm sure they will be, then surely we'll have people hanging out the doorway. So, I really appreciate the enthusiasm and the participation. I'm excited about the future of this department and the things that are going on and this intellectual center of gravity, and I hope it really works out because we all stand to benefit. Any other, always at the end of class, I used to say, are there any questions? Are there any comments? Are there any complaints? And Dr. Peavy, when he was a student, he used to jump up every class and say, yeah, I've got a complaint. Not really. He never complained about anything, as a matter of fact. Okay. That's all. Let's adjourn downstairs for refreshments.
You had somebody to sing out at drove him home last year.
Yeah, you can take it home. I'll go home. Yeah. I'll take that contract from offering. Thanks for coming.